It's time once again for Shelf Life Book Reviews online. As always, I thank you for taking the time to watch my video, and hopefully the book I'm about to review for you is one you will very seriously consider. And the book this time out is Identity by Nora Roberts. This is published by St. Martin's Press and it retails for $40. Nora Roberts is one of the most recognized names in fiction. She has penned over 200 books, not only as Nora Roberts, but as J.D. Robb. She has the very popular In Death series, and I think there are 60 books in that series. The woman is really a writing machine, and each time out you get a quality work when you read a Nora Roberts book, and Identity is certainly no exception. From the very first page onward, you are hooked. She has a way of doing that with all her fiction, and this one is the type of book that you do not want to put down, which I found myself, when it got late at night, I wished I could have read all night long because it was that compelling. And first thing in the morning when I had the chance, I opened the book to where I left off and started again, because it's a book you really want to get through to see what's happening. Now, the book revolves around a woman by the name of Morgan Albright. She lives in a suburb in Baltimore, and she has a pretty decent life. She's a bartender, and she meets a lot of interesting people. And one person in particular she meets is a man named Luke. He says he's an IT specialist, and she likes him. He seems like a decent guy. So she's living with a roommate, Nina Ramos, who's paying rent, to help Morgan with her mortgage on her house. She owns her house. So they invite him to a big dinner party, and things go well. Then later that night, Nina comes home, and she finds Luke in the house. And he says, he's helping Morgan with her computer or something. So she suspects something is very fishy. So before she can run away, he takes the laptop, bashes her over the head, then strangles her to death. And Morgan comes home to find her dead. Now, apparently, Luke wanted Morgan dead, but Nina got in the way. So two FBI agents called Beck and Morrison come to talk to Morgan and say, this man is not who he says he is. His real name is Gavin Roswell. He's a notorious serial killer. And what he does is he kills women and he steals their identity. He takes all their money, and he's done the same thing with Morgan. He gets inside her computer, her bank passcode, her all her passwords, and he really wipes her clean of all her money. So she basically has nothing. She has to sell the house, and she decides to move back to Vermont, where her mother and grandmother live. So she starts fresh there. But as we see in different parts of the book, Gavin Roswell is plotting. Morgan is the one that got away because he wanted her dead, not Nina. So he starts killing other women and leaving jewelry that he took from Morgan's house on their bodies. So the FBI agents go to Vermont and tell Morgan what's going on, that Gavin Roswell is definitely on the prowl again, and to be very careful. So Morgan gets a job in Vermont, and she meets a man named Miles Jameson, and they get very close. She tells him what happened, and he's very protective of her. So the two they start to grow together in a relationship, which you knew it had happened. But in the meantime, Gavin Roswell is plotting. He's killing more women, and he's getting closer to his end game, which is Morgan. And so he ends up in Vermont, as you would expect. And of course, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but it is very tense. In the last 50 pages are really a thrill-a-minute book. So in typical Nora Roberts fashion, she really pulls out all the stops in her fiction. And anyone who's read a book knows that. If you haven't read a Nora Roberts book, where have you been? Because Nora Roberts really can write a thriller, mystery, add romance. She's put a little bit of everything into all of her books. And this is nearly 440 pages. So you really get your money's worth with this book. So if you're looking for a book that is above par, look for Identity, because once you start, you won't be able to stop. So that's the book I wanted to draw to your attention this time out. Hopefully you will purchase it. And if you do, please let me know if you do agree with my review. So thank you for watching. I will be back with another great book very, very soon. So remember, stay safe, stay sane, stay in touch, and I will see you at the bookstore. Bye for now.